Hey Tim, I was thinking about doing a video today, but not on this subject, and not this early. I was going to do it later. It sounds to me like you have pretty much the same thing I do, although the relative severity is hard to judge without seeing the MRIs. First thing I would tell you is that it sounds to me like your doctor is a little too anxious to do surgery. Everything I've heard is that the surgery is absolutely the last thing you want to do as a desperation measure. For one thing, they have to go in from the front. So there's a lot of rehab time involved, and it's very difficult and delicate. From everything I've heard, it really doesn't help that much. Most people that have had it, I don't think would do it again. What I did was physical therapy for a couple of years, and that helped a little bit. Didn't help a whole lot. I think the main thing is that it's interesting that we both had this onset at exactly the age 50. In my case, the semester at school had just started, and I was carrying like 40 pounds in a backpack. And I woke up the next morning and I couldn't get out of bed. And I could barely get out of bed the next day. And I ended up dropping that semester. It's one of 4 that I ended up dropping during that escapade, getting that last degree. So that was 2 years wasted for various reasons. But I'm getting off the subject, as I always do. Anyway, we're still young and we can still adapt. If this happened at age 70, it would be another matter. But at a younger age like this, it's something that isn't going to go away, and it's not going to cure itself, but you do adapt physically as well as mentally to the situation. One thing you do want to avoid is traction. My doctors were so enthusiastic about traction, and you don't want to do that. Not unless you really want to be in a lot of pain. That's an old technique, and these are old school doctors, I guess. But I don't know why anybody would think that that's going to do any good. One obvious disadvantage that you have is that you're carrying around a lot more weight. That's going to put more pressure on the area. I'm not sure what to tell you about that. There are things that you can be thankful for. Be thankful that you have your family. You've got a couple of sons. If you want something moved, you can say, "Hey, move that." I'm not in that position. Yesterday I had to move a 100-pound bookshelf, and I managed. I did it, and I'm not debilitated this morning. So like I said, you do adapt. If I tried to do that, within a year or so of my diagnosis, it might have killed me. But the other thing, you were talking about taking Vicodin. I found that naproxen, which is NSAID, works fine for me. I think I take 800 milligrams a day as I need it, and that's usually every day. Also ibuprofen, although that loses its effectiveness after a while for some reason, for me. Now I think I have a way of showing you my MRIs for comparison. I don't expect you to put your MRIs up there, but I'm going to try to do that, and you can sort of judge for yourself. Actually, no, I'm not even sure you had your MRIs, did you? Well, either way, if you have them, you can make a comparison, or if you are yet to have them, you can make a comparison later. But anyway, I'm going to be uploading this in high quality, and you can look at my MRIs and see how mine look compared to how yours look. and maybe that'll give you something to go by. You might be tempted to try glucosamine and chondroitin tablets. I tried those for a while, but what they do is they make your joints a lot more slippery, and that's not what you want in your neck. You don't want slippery joints in your neck. You got to be able to hold your head up straight, if your joints are all slippery. So I would avoid that, or at the most maybe take 1 tablet a month. They will tell you to take 3 tablets a day, and these things cost like $1 a tablet. So obviously they want you to take as many as possible, but don't do it. Another thing that maybe is helping, or maybe it's just my imagination, is that in quiet times I will, stretch my neck into its proper position and concentrate on the affected area and imagine the osteocytes and the cartilage taking up calcium and potassium in the right proportions and rebuilding itself. Whether this is just my imagination or there's actually the brain-body connection going on there, I don't know. I do know that I'm a lot better now than I was 2 years ago. Haven't got the MRIs to prove it, but like I said, I carried a 100-pound bookcase yesterday, and I'm talking to you today. So all is not lost, and for the time being, don't exert yourself, don't take any risks. You talked about the danger of injury if you were in a car accident or something, and that's a worry. It's a worry that I have. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. It's, if a car accident happens, it happens, and however you're injured, you're injured. It's, even a perfectly normal person can get killed in a car accident, so I wouldn't waste a whole lot of time worrying about that. If anything is going to kill me, it's probably going to be these, right? So, let's see, I guess I've taken up probably already 10 minutes, although it doesn't seem like it. So I better cut this off and put those MRIs up if I even have time to do it. All the best and good luck, and don't be quick to go into that surgery. Okay, these are from like 4 years ago, and this is the first MRI. This is sort of a close-up where you can see in the next one I've shown you where the spinal cord is, and this is the area that's affected. It's an area of compression, and the real problem disc is to the right inside this circle, right sort of in the middle. Now this is from a different angle, and just so you can orient yourself, there's the spinal cord, and if you look straight across from there, you'll see sort of the area that was in the circle before, and that's where the real problem is. You can see how this disc is just not in line. So those are my MRIs, and let me know how they compare to yours. Mine is pretty high up in the neck. Also, I apologize for not getting this up. I was having hardware problems with the camera's USB connector, and I convinced myself it was software. So I've been spending all day trying to solve a software problem that was a hardware problem. Anyway, I hope things work out for you, Tim.